Testing, testing. Check, check, check. See if people can hear us.
Hello.
Welcome to my critter setup. I've got a toll, because we're making a toll man. Is the audio working? It should be on. I see everything. Everything is visually functional.
Okay, I need to mute the YouTube because that's confusing.
Yeah, it'll do that.
I was like, where are all these voices coming from? Oh wait, that's me.
Yeah, don't mind me. Oh. Why did my... What? Huh? Whatever, doesn't matter. Ignore it. We ignore problems that don't impact the current situation. Don't know, don't care.
Yeah.
Echo. Echo. You should not be getting an echo. Why are you getting an echo? Where are you getting echo from?
It might be
There
that
be
they're
no echo.
hearing my mic come through your sound or speakers
They
or
fucking
something.
better not be hearing your sound coming through my mic. That'd be terrible. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on.
I don't hear it now, but I heard it a second ago, but... So it might be fixed, I don't know.
This audio setup is actually insane and correct. Please forgive me while I make this adjustment. Okay, it should be fixed now.
Right?
Hopefully?
I'll talk for a little bit
Does
to
it sound
see if
good?
Because Dapper just
Alright.
confirmed that it's my voice that was echoing, so...
Okay, so it should be good. I think I fixed it. It should be good now.
Yep.
Echo is back. Is it gone now?
All I can say is I'm not doing anything different, so I don't know.
Damn stream delay is probably what it is. Yeah. Oh, we're fine now.
Yeah, it might be that.
Oh god, what am I doing? Alright, hold on, I gotta move. I have to adjust something on my desk as I pull up our description of our new bolian, Hon Jopkins.
And I just realized that bolians look like they have, like, you know when you buy an action figure and they have, like, that seam of the plastic? That's what it looks like on their face.
That's quite the descriptor.
I mean...
Alright.
That's... My brain connected that, and...
Okay.
I think it's true.
Hon Jopkins. Details. How detailed? Whatever. I can work with whatever. Okay, 5'7", thin athletic, bald, eye color, only found one source for a definitive answer. It said yellow. Yellow is fine. I appreciate that you gave me the hex code for the type of yellow and color of skin you want. That's I don't know how detailed I should be. Here's the most detailed I could be. Impressive.
Well,
Yeah.
better more details than not enough, I would say.
This is true. Side question. I do believe I saw Hopkins in here a minute ago.
Yeah, he's in here.
Okay, then I only have one real question for Hopkins. What does their face look like? Like, do you have a... like, do you look like George Clooney? Do you look like Fat Albert? Do you look like the dad from the Wild Thornberrys? And yes, I'm using an XP pen. The one that Sarah got for me, actually.
Yes, that is correct.
Funny enough. I don't have my little one because my little one's wire got busted up ages ago.
Oh, somebody's in here.
What about Nigel Thornberry?
Smashing. As soon as you mention Nigel Thornberry, he arrives.
Yeah, he heard
Yeah,
the
I do have
reference.
I do have some similar facial hair, I guess. I mean, I have the mutton stash, but you know.
He heard the reference and had to come running.
Yeah, oh yeah. 100%.
No camera.
Alright. That's
It looks like
not right. I'll have to reload
it
this.
looks like John Hopkins got back to you.
Don't look at my porn! Damn it. I have to reload Krita.
It looks like John Hopkins wants Bruce Willis in his 30s.
Bruce Willis in his 30s. Alright. I can work with that. I'm just gonna have to reload Critter real quick. I'm just gonna put on the starting soon, even though we're already here, just while it loads.
Just so that way they're not staring at an empty screen.
Well, it's not empty. It's all of definitely not my porn. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I now see it on because I'm watching the stream.
You're on the delay.
So I now see it.
There we go. You guys internally can't see it right now, right?
Internally, I see the stream is ended. So.
Okay. So let's just reset that, and there we go. We should be good to go. There we go.
Yep.
Cool. And now I guess gotta reset Krita here. Could you just please? Could you please? Thank you. Wonderful. Ta-da! Ta-da! There we go. We're back.
I love the joys of art programs, and when it closes and shows you all your recent files, and like, hey, don't look at that one.
Yeah, don't look at that one. Yeah, don't look at that. So you didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was
Bruce
commissioned.
Willis.
I didn't know.
I was commissioned. I didn't know. Yeah, that's.
Yep.
It was commissioned, and when they told me what they wanted, I didn't say no.
You have any idea how never I've ever said no?
I hear that.
Let's see. I'm trying to find like a good. We're talking like Die Hard Bruce Willis, right? See if I can.
I don't know if he was in his 30s then, but if he was, then yes.
I like how many of these pictures are all him with just his mouth hanging open, like, huh? Like, actually, all of them are just him with his mouth open, looking some varied level of shocked. Except this one where he's talking on the phone.
No, we never did learn how the unpronounceable guy's boned.
Well, ain't that a shame? Alright, let's try Bruce Willis from Fifth Element. See if that'll give me a good one. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's a good one. That'll work. Corbin! Corbin! Corbin Dallas. How do you feel about Corbin Dallas?
Well, we'll have to wait for that response, but... Ugh.
It's like the right kind of build, too. Like, slim but muscular. I mean, he's not a super... He's not a twink, but, like... Bada bing, bada boom. Space theme. Oh yeah, the space theme for Corbin also works. Alright, yeah, we can work with something like this. Alright, it's gonna take me... I gotta warm up. Entertain the people. I need to warm up. I haven't, like, drawn shit in, like...
Okay. Do you need your nude references?
Are you offering?
Not today. Not today.
I mean, I definitely don't have, like, 2 sites I use for that.
Only 2?
Only 2. Well, they're really good sites.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, at a certain point, you don't need any more, so...
What? You don't know what you're talking about.
What can I say?
Careful. Don't worry, I'm drawing more than 7 circles, so the stream won't get in trouble.
It's only when they're concentric circles.
Listen, those circles gotta be placed correctly. That's just... So why don't you two tell the good people something about your characters that the only way that anybody would ever know is if they watch this very particular stream.
Ooh, something about Dr. Hobnoll that we wouldn't know otherwise. He actually
Yeah,
gets
you go first.
really frustrated with other species because what he like looks like an unreadable face on him for his face holes is actually very expressive to, within his own species. And he's trying to show facial expressions a lot, like all the other races do, and they never pick up on it. And he actually
Oh.
like is constantly biting his tongue on like, oh right, I'm showing concern on my face. Why aren't you doing this?
I am concerned for you. Why can't you tell?
I am getting angry with this. Why don't you see my face holes doing the angry?
I like it. That's really cool.
Your bedside manner is horrible only because no one can read your facial expressions.
Wifey just screamed from the other room, stop saying face holes. So I think I am legally required now to say face holes at least twice more.
Mm.
Well, you only said it once more. I was waiting for the next one.
No,
Well,
he said it twice.
There was 2 face holes there. How many face holes do you want me to face holes? He does have 8 face holes.
He has at least 8 face holes. He may or may not be drawn with more.
We will never know unless we look.
Alright, Chip, what do you got?
Let me look at my character sheet. Because I'll just read some stuff. Why not? I got bio and info.
Corbin! I love that guy. So, who's that? Was that Chris Tucker? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Chris Tucker that played the DJ. He's constantly freaking out.
The DJ that looks like I don't know how to describe him other than to show a picture. Like, he's just insane looking.
I love him. What was his name?
I have no
Oh,
idea.
does this start with an R? Hold on. No, I'm gonna find it. I know the character off the top of my head, but like the character's name.
Well, while you're looking for that, Broken Chip found a possible
Ruby Road.
That
I knew
sounds correct. Chip found a Eldritch box in space in his backstory.
Oh. Great.
Yeah, yeah. One of the backstory events was, what was it officially? Let's see. It was something to do with an artifact or something. I'll look real quick.
I'm sure this ancient Eldritch artifact will definitely not show up in the game at all. Completely won't be related to anything we deal with on a semi-regular basis.
Probably.
I see John, you in here. John, hey, John, quick question. What's your guys' attitude? Give me, like, a general, like, vibe. I need a vibe check. I see the Dapper saying words to me, and I'm gonna pretend I understand what those words mean, and I'm gonna nod like he can see me.
Oh, he's trying to tell you what, like, their marks on their faces would look like, but I
Thanks.
don't even know
Thanks, champ.
I don't even know what those, like...
Okay, so the sagittal plane is basically like, if you think so bilateral symmetry, they're lateral left to right, it would be the line between those. So it would be the line going like right straight down the middle of the head from front to back. The dorsal side of the skull is the back. So what Dapper is telling you is if you imagine a vertical line on the back of the head that kind of goes right down, like if you kept like in line with the spine. So there's going to be a darker marking there. And as it extends away from the center line, it kind of tapers out. So that's he's basically describing.
I don't know if that
I thought his
turned
name
up.
was Rudy, not even Ruby.
I guess it's a stage name rather than just his actual name.
I don't know if we know what his actual name is.
Yeah, exactly.
All we know is that one guy's name is Corbin. Corbin Dallas.
Yeah.
Corbin, come in! Constantly screaming. I love him so much. I should probably not kick my computer over.
That sounds like a good idea.
Alright, time to go get a reference photo
Yeah.
of a bolian, right? Bolian.
Again, they're the ones with the weird seam on their face.
Yeah, I know. They also have, like, these neato markings. Everyone talks to me like I'm stupid. Why does everybody talk to me like I'm stupid?
Well,
Well, what?
do you want me to list all of the reasons?
Oh, fucking yeah, sure, why not? We got time.
Because sometimes it appears that way, is what I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna draw all of the uniforms wrong. Like they're from the wrong generation now, just to piss everybody off.
Put the pips on the wrong side.
Pips on the wrong side.
Just draw them in a Star Wars uniform instead.
Just put him in a fucking stormtrooper costume.
Yeah. Yeah, just don't even draw the face at all. Just have
Just put the helmet. Yeah, it's just the helmet copy pasted onto all of our characters. So next episode, everybody's just gonna have like over top of their character intro pictures. They're just gonna all have stormtrooper helmets on.
You could have different ones, because apparently there's different ones. I learned that not that long ago.
Different
Apparently.
stormtroopers, you mean?
Yeah, like there's ones for like scouting helmets and stuff like that. Like, and there's the Death Troopers, which are black.
Nixie on Deerstalker. That is something I'm not familiar with. I'm gonna look it up.
I'll have to look that up. I don't even.
Oh, I am familiar with this. Okay, yes. Yep. I know what that is. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, yep. I know that.
See,
Oh, you got big old
Deerstalker.
ears, don't you? The bolians. I'm gonna make sure that that's actually right and not just the model that I'm looking at. Nope, they got big old weirdo ears. I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Okay. Got it.
It's not me. I didn't do it. I'm just drawing this on the wrong layer now. Oh well.
Yeah, you
Isn't
didn't
that
make
what
up
layers
the
are for?
lore. What did you say?
I said,
Gerald?
isn't that what layers are for? To draw on the wrong one?
Yeah.
I
So-
was actually working on one of mine earlier, and I was turning on and off a layer, just working on something, and I noticed that my inks were changing in one spot, and I had like 20 pixels drawn on the wrong layer, and I had to go back and select those and make a duplicate layer out of them, put them back down, and merge them into my inks so they could all be on the right layer, because I had two little lines on my inks that were on the wrong layer.
Pain. I hate that. I feel nothing but But hatred. Oh yeah, I've also got the hex for the right colors going on here. So let's actually get the right hexes.
Yeah, I actually lock my layers a lot so that I don't do that.
I actually
Here I
just
am doing.
a lot of the time I just
Oh,
use this. I just use one layer.
I can confirm this. But what I was gonna say is I'm doing facial expressions for the camera, and I'm not on camera, so that's.
Do you guys want to be on camera? You can be on camera. I ain't gonna stop you. Um, so if anybody's curious about how to do colors by hex in Krita, you may have seen me just do it, but I will say out loud what I did so you guys can do it at home if you want. Krita is a free program. Anybody can use it. It's free to download. So you simply go to specific color selector and it lets you play with the RGB and you can put the color name and the code name and then you hit enter and then off you go to the races. If you don't have the specific color selector, it usually comes along with the advanced color selector, but if you're not seeing it, then you need to go to your configure Krita settings. Then there's like all of the tablet settings and the pop-up palette and stuff like that. Your other option is to see this little thingy at the very top right corner. This will help you select what is in your workspace. So play around with that. If you're still not sure what you want, you can right click inside of this as well. Come in, where are you? Come here, come here, come here. Why you no work? Not that. You won't be able to see it because when it opens a secondary window, it won't show it to you. Did they move it? Maybe they moved it in update. Oh, workspace. They did. It's in window and workspace.
That would explain it.
Yeah, there's also Dockers. And so if you're finding that you're not seeing a Docker that you want, if you go to settings and you go, it says show Dockers or Dockers. The Dockers are like, so the comics manager, channels, arrange, artistic color selector, overview, palettes, blah, 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 blah. So you can select them in there and find that there. You can flick them on and off and see what you like and change it around however you want.
I have a question as someone who does not do art.
Mm-hmm.
Are these hex numbers universal? So, like, if I used a different program, would it be the same number?
It should
Correct.
be. Yeah. They're like the hexes you get at the paint store.
Oh.
They can also be like copyrighted. So like for my boss the other day, he was doing one with like a Excel sheet of all of our equipment, and I actually looked up like the actual like trademark hex colors for a bunch of the like Caterpillar, so that everything he could like, I want this to be Caterpillar yellow. Okay, here is Caterpillar yellow. Type these numbers in, and you have like their actual like you can get sued for using it color.
Yep.
Interesting.
It doesn't happen terribly often, but if you were to build a business selling that color, then that's how that would happen.
You can also use it to adjust the colors on your monitor. If you have something that you know is a hex color, you can pull that color up on your monitor and adjust until it matches.
It's a really good way to fix your monitors. You can also, if you have like any kind of like color blindness, you can change the color output on your monitor that way, as well as within Krita to adjust for whatever it is you're looking for.
Interesting.
So you guys doing anything? It was it's July 4th today, right? I hear that.
We went into town to go shopping, and it was miserable because there were people everywhere, and I wanted to stab them.
Oh, I mean, yeah, fair.
I mean, more than I usually do. But yeah, we went to we went to Lowe's and little home stores to buy like parts and stuff, and I got some PVC pipe that I use for my board game streaming or recording rig.
Yeah.
I'm going to change up my rig. It's crazy looking, but we're going to move some things around and make it a little bit better. So I make it all out of PVC pipe. So I went and got some pipe, and it was fine. No problem. Then we went to get almond milk from the grocery store, and it was a nightmare. There was people everywhere. It didn't stop us from spending like $200 grabbing a whole bunch of other extra stuff, but yeah, we needed almond milk.
It do be like that.
Yeah, that sounds like shopping.
I did get mad. They had my brand of wine I like, and it was all on sale except for specifically the flavor I like. It was not on sale.
Oh, that's very sad.
Yeah. As a wife, he says it didn't stop me from buying it, but I didn't get the $3 off for.
How old are bolians in the canon? Like, how long have they been part of Star Trek?
You almost said Star Wars again. I heard it. I don't actually know. Let's look it up.
I'm just curious because I'm looking at like the makeup, and like the makeup design is pretty good. So I'm wondering how much of it is intentionally purple, because there's a good portion of where like your skin gets thinner. You know how like you can get like green and blue or purple in your skin cut tones because like your skin is thinner in those spots, like in your ears and like under your eyes, places like that, like your tips of your nose. So I'm just wondering how much of that is like intentionally part of the makeup design and how much of it is just like skin showing because the makeup design wasn't as good at the time.
It was TNG Season 1, Episode 10.
Yep. I was just about to say the same thing.
So it's maybe then the extra purple is not entirely intentional.
Might be a bit of both on that one.
Yeah. All right. I'll still use it, but I'm gonna make it a little bit more chill. I'm not gonna make it as aggressive.
And for the record, I just Googled it, and the AI overview is wrong.
Of course, the AI overview is wrong. It's fucking. I was explaining that the other day because I was out and about a little bit, and right when I was like starting to feel sick, I was outside. I was like, "Oh, of course I am." So I was. Somebody was trying to explain, like, talk to me about AI stuff, and I'm like, "Why are you talking to me?" I don't know why people start conversations with me that they definitely don't want to have.
For some of them, at least, they probably don't know they don't want to have it
until it's too late. Brother, no. Do I need like a shirt that says something? The shirt I wore was, oh, did my opinion make you mad? You should see what I don't. You should hear what I don't say. I guess that shirt wasn't good enough. I will take recommendations on other shirts that might be good. I think Hawkskull sent me that shirt actually. It's great. The pinkiest pink.
Well, from working retail, people don't read.
Yeah, fair.
So
it's also possible that the bolians could be a little bit pinker and less purple if they're younger.
I don't know.
That could be interesting. Well, I'm assuming there isn't an answer to something like that. Like, I doubt, like...
There might be.
It's one of those things.
With how deep the lore is, there might be.
Yeah, there might be.
But yeah, I'm gonna send a picture of the...
It's really weird to draw, like,
overview being wrong.
Like a happy, bright-eyed Bruce Willis. I'm pretty sure their eyes are still white.
It was around... They were in the canon around the time when Bruce Willis was that age. So... He could have... This could be an alternate universe thing. Anyway.
He's just, instead of playing the grungiest motherfuckers ever, he's just like, hi, everybody!
I'm this goofy blue guy. Hello.
I don't think we've seen any juvenile bolians. Yeah, we can make him a little bit pinker and a little bit less purple. Just to make him look a little bit younger, so he's got like a little bit of those like rosy cheeks. He's got a little bit of that youngin' in him. Picked up a shirt that from the pandemic that reads, "If you can read this, you're too close." Oh, that's good. Yeah, he's yeah, pretty sure Han is supposed to be like a little bit of a younger character.
On Solo?
No.
Hon
Han Jopkins.
Jopkins. Okay. My brain.
Bro, I'm the one who's sick. What are you doing?
Not paying attention, I guess. My excuse.
I don't make enough money to pay attention.
You guys are getting paid for this?
I mean,
Silence.
technically, I am getting paid for today. That is true. I am getting paid because it's a paid holiday, but you know.
Nice. Yeah, surprise, surprise. I'm not doing it. I don't have anything planned for the American holiday.
I thought you Canadians did all of our holidays.
You know, usually we do. Not this year though. For some reason, there's no fireworks show. I wonder why.
Oh, weird. I wonder what's going on here that's pissed Canadians off.
Gee, I don't know. Can't imagine.
But either way, we did have something on the 1st.
Well,
Which
yeah.
I think there's something that happens in America on the 1st, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
I don't know. Is there like a President's Day or something?
I don't know, maybe. I just vaguely remember hearing somebody say that once.
I'm not gonna
So-
lie, you know what's a little bit annoying about some of the Star Trek universe guys is like a lot of them lack hair. But like lacking hair isn't the irritating part. It's the lacking eyebrows. So like a lot of them just have hefty ridges, which is a little bit difficult to work with sometimes. Like it's not the end of the world, it's just like it's just enough to be slightly like ugh. Ugh. Just enough to be just enough. Just enough to be like, really? The first is
Dapper
your
out here
voice.
making.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Dapper out here making jokes of Canada. On the 1st, Americans remember Edwin Canada, who invented Canada in 1973.
Trying to make somebody look innocent and like excited with these big old eyebrow ridges is like give me an aneurysm. It's okay, I like things that are challenging. I'm
Yeah,
just
back
trying to
when we
make him
used
look
to-
excited instead of looking like he's like sarcastic or like looking at somebody with pity. Hey, finished journey for 222 said Hail Chesh, HJ, and General Frivolity. That's awesome. Hon Jopkins, let's go. The eyebrow ridges are like mixed into the big old fuck you, my head is actually split in half line. What is even it supposed to be?
I bet you Dapper could tell you, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, it doesn't go. Does it go across the nose? It goes across the nose. Does it go across the whole nose? Hold on. I need to look at another
think
picture.
I
It
think
goes,
it goes.
like, yeah, all the way across everything.
Yeah, I think it goes
Okay.
all the way down the face. Like even through the lips and everything, I think.
It kind of looks like it, but like also like some of these pictures it looks like that, and some of them it doesn't. I'm just gonna assume it goes all the way down. Can they split their faces open? Because that'd be pretty fucking rad. Like it would be really cool if they could actually I'm gonna do this on another layer. It would be really cool if they could like split their heads open, like all the way down the middle, and like they had like a predator mouth.
just like an eldritch horror. Its face splits open and there's just teeth inside in this long whippy tongue.
Their whole head splits open and then like a flower comes out of it or something. I mean, their heads also kind of do like this point. They what the fuck? What? It's fine. Children Klingons look absolutely ridiculous. I just want to say. Absolutely ridiculous. So, like, this should kind of... I don't know. It's fine. It's fine, 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 it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is fine.
The more you say it, the more I believe you.
Good. That's how it works. We're coping. We're coping. It's it's good. Don't worry about it. Excuse me, I require this color again. Go away again, please. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Chesh hates bolians. I hate everybody and everything all of the time. Little bit of everything all of the time. I was telling Dapper the other day, and I was just like, what did I say? I said something along the lines of, like, just hating everything. And being, like, just generally annoyed. And I think I said something along the lines of, I kind of feel like crap, so I might be, like, a little bit testy. But but I'm like, I don't want to say, like, I'm more annoyed than normal, because I live on a 45-degree angle. Permanently tilted. So the one day people find out Dapper and I are actually friends.
It was so hard to tell.
Right? You'd be surprised. People are fucking stupid, dude.
They are too. You don't got to tell us that we're down there like Stupid Central, where people are supporting things that are definitely not good.
Oh, like, you mean your new concentration camps, funded by your Medicaid cuts?
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July, guys. Good news, everyone. Sandy found my embroidery floss. Oh. I don't know if that's actually good, but congratulations. Alright, this bolian head is starting to actually look right. Like, I think I might have actually done it correctly.
Looks good to me.
The last art I worked on was a tattoo for Magicus. So, like... it was a little bit ago.
My most recent art would get Dapper's channel banned if I said what it was, so it existed.
No, it didn't. It's one of those.
We will speak not of it.
Me and you should do a collab one time of some, like, prawn.
Go for it anytime. I'm always down for stuff like that.
Should draw a sexy shrimp. Make it actually prawn. Oh, okay, so it's actually a good thing. Okay, congratulations. I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to assume. I did that to my cousin once. My cousin got pregnant with her first kid, and she was, like, announcing it to everybody. But, like, the timing that she announced it to everybody was, like, at Thanksgiving while everybody was leaving. So I was
the best one I ever had when I was a little kid guy and worked at the grocery store. One of our regulars was in, and I guess her mom had just passed away, and she was telling one of the other cashiers about her mom passing away, and the cashier wasn't paying attention, so she's like,
no,
that's good. And it's like,
oh,
you did not just...
Oh no.
The customer was not paying attention either, though, because she missed it.
Oh my god.
Like, You're like having a heart attack. Like, you did not just say that.
Oh my god. Awful. Wonderful. People are wacky. No, so I wasn't sure if, like, my cousin was okay. So everybody's congratulating her, and I'm like, are you alright? She just gave me the weirdest look, like I'm the problem. Like, bruh, you're the one who just announced it while everybody was, like, on the way out the door. Like...
I mean, in all fairness, you probably were the problem, but that's okay. You're allowed to be the problem.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I am active. Like, people actively do not want me to participate in family events. Like, they want me to be there because they want it to be a family event and, like, you know, keep the peace or whatever. It's not even keeping the peace. It's more like a keep up the spectacle a little bit.
They want to nominally say that you were invited.
Well, it's not that they would disinvite me. It's more like they like I know they don't want to deal with me in any like real capacity. But everybody's really bad at trying to like. They say something that would be innocuous if they said it to anybody else, and they've never learned.
All right, I just re-sliced all of my last 3D print stuff that failed, and we're gonna try again.
That's fun. You should have you talked to Athens at all yet? I know you guys kind of interact a little bit every so often inside chats.
I haven't.
Because he does a lot of 3D printing as well.
I love 3D printing. I've almost always got my printers going. Although right now I always have my printer going because 2 of them are, you know, out of commission and I really need to fix them. I've just been lazy.
Damn. Alright, I think this is starting to come together a little bit. The brow ridge is kind of wacky, but that's okay. We're gonna get there. I'm kind of glad I didn't do this as like a regular sketch. I just had a really rough outline and just started trying to paint this instead. Because I feel like if I had done it any other way, it would have been like fucking would not have worked.
That is something I've never been good at, is doing that, like the painterly style in digital. I'm friends with Andrea Radek, does artwork for Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
And I watch her do her stuff occasionally, and
so
she
jealous.
does everything on 1 layer painter style.
Yeah,
And it is gorgeous.
I'm jealous.
Join her server and talk to her. You just click the button.
You
Yeah,
make
I
it sound
play-
so easy.
I play Phasmophobia with her. She's fun.
That's cool.
They just updated that recently.
Oh, did they? Honestly, that game really needs to have some like. Hopefully, it fixed some of the issues. I noticed there's like a really big
No.
problem with having like ghosts or whatever you're hunting. The thing that you're hunting is too big, and the things they do are too big for the small space that you're starting in.
Yeah,
And then-
it's broken. It's always broken, but that's kind of half the fun.
I mean, that's
and
fair.
Do you know the Calum Sky Purgatory, the Calum Sky webcomic?
Sounds familiar.
Has the little red demon that looks kind of like a dinosaur?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's her comic.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
She's an awesome person. I love hanging out with her, playing games with her.
Always support artists. It's a hard life.
Yeah, I hang out with her and play Phasmophobia, and then the PRS Pokemon Rising Shadows, I play Monster Hunter with that artist.
Oh yeah.
And they sound almost identical, except one swears like a sailor and the other like never swears. So that's always fun.
That is fun. Have you gotten them in a room together yet?
No, that might break reality.
Oh, fair enough. That do happen sometimes.
When we play Monster Hunter, Nico's not swearing thing kind of disappears because of Monster Hunter.
That's fair. What the fuck? This guy's eyes aren't yellow. To be fair, this guy's ridge barely looks like a ridge either. That's okay.
That bolian reference image just keeps making me think of Mass Effect.
Because it looks like Mass Effect.
Yeah, it does.
I never finished Mass Effect.
I like that there's just all caps in the chat. Middle child issues. What are those?
Yeah, I'm the eldest, so I don't have those.
I am also the oldest.
But I'm the eldest of two, so it's not that big of a deal.
I am the eldest of one.
My-
Well, that's
my-
not true. You go. I don't want to talk about it.
My mom's the youngest of 7 plus foster kids,
Well, that's exciting.
because apparently 7 wasn't enough.
Yay.
Matt the Navigator just donated.
Yeah,
Hey,
says,
wanna read it?
support artists because they can count to 2 and to 5.
Yay! I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4.
Psycho Stick's great. Dapper pointing out the reference since none of us know. We're all lost.
Star Trek Online.
That
Yeah,
actually does make sense because
Yeah,
they're in a similar graphical range as
Yes.
Mass Effect.
I mean, I could have told you that that's what the reference was from.
Amen.
Nobody asked me.
It didn't matter where it was from. I just knew that it looked similar. For me, at least.
It does. It does look like Mass Effect. You're not wrong. I think it looks like Mass Effect. Oh, that's the wrong button. There we go.
Someone could mistake it for an Asari that looks masculine.
You could probably, like, make that, like, not... It's not even that un-wow-ish, to be honest.
Yeah, not too far off. WoW, everyone thinks WoW has like really, really cartoony, but it's actually most of that comes from the color palette, not the actual shapes.
Yeah, it's usually not... Like, there's a couple of, like... It's definitely got some exaggerated features. So, like, you know, the big, long eyebrows for the elves and, like, the cartoonishly large hands and feet for some of them. But, like, it's... Otherwise, like, most of the faces and stuff are pretty, like, solidly structured.
Yeah, it's mostly just color palette and the way the shader works. They do like anything that has any like little extra gibbles and things on little extra shapes. They usually exaggerate that a little bit. So like if something has like a square border, it'll usually get a really thick, heavy border. But for the most part, it doesn't have that much, and a lot of that came just from the age of when it started. That's just you didn't have that many polygons, so things tended to get exaggerated.
Yeah. That was the way to do it. I mean, like, cell shading is still, like, can be really, really pretty. Breath of the Wild looks fantastic.
Yeah, and see, my MMO stuff started with Lineage 2, and Lineage 2 is definitely does not look like that. It's they tried for realism a little early, and so like the weapons look really cool until you see them straight on and realize that it's 2-dimensional and that it's just flat.
I mean, that's
It's
a little bit of charm.
It's entirely texture. There's no actual 3D to it.
That's kind of awesome. Kind of love that. Death Stranding has more endings than Return of the King.
You saw what I was giggling to myself about.
I gotta get Dapper to give Monster Hunter another try. I think if I power him through the first incredibly slow bit, he'll be good.
Oh, which Monster Hunter?
I bought him Rise.
Yeah.
It's Monster Hunter Portable Team, so it actually plays a little faster than Monster Hunter usually does.
Mm-hmm.
But like every Monster Hunter, it suffers from having absolutely no tutorial, not telling you anything, and being kind of slow in the beginning.
Does it have that's the one that's got the bugs, right? For
bugs?
Spider-Man eating yourself around?
Yes, that is the wire bug one.
Yeah, I was playing that with Surus for a little while. It's like a good game. It's just like You have to like those kinds of games. It's very much like the whole point of the game is to grind, right? That's all Monster Hunter games. All Monster Hunter games are
Monster
like,
Hunter is a
you
loot
grind.
treadmill.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want the good Monster Hunter bug, you need to look up a tall caw. That's the best bug in Monster Hunter. Or you can look up a tall Nesset, which is a tall caw when they use their little silk strands to gather a bunch of things and build a mech.
That's fun.
That one's from Generations Ultimate, which is my favorite of the Monster Hunters, but
Bruce
it
Willis
feels
has
so
a
old
pretty.
now.
Yeah. Alright.
Me.
That's better. I'm gonna do like a little bit of a trust, have faith in the process. Don't worry, I'm not giving you crazy lipstick. Just trust the process. We're trusting the process.
Bolian wearing red lipstick.
There's
Nothing wrong with
nothing.
that.
There's nothing stopping the bolian from wearing whatever the bolian wants to be wearing,
Yeah, exactly.
as long as it's regulation. And lipstick has never been outside of regulation. They never got the Jordan Peterson talk. God, that man is an idiot. Did you see he was crying on when he was talking to Pierce Morgan?
Was that the one where he was like
Super red-faced?
I
Yeah.
said that he looked like he was gonna pop.
Yes. Absolutely hilarious. I was gonna watch it, but I got sick, so I didn't. What kind of pupils these motherfuckers have? Regular ones? I'm gonna assume regular ones.
I'm just gonna look at my. Their eyes are. Let me see. Trying to get one that's clear.
The only thing
Clearly
I'm
shows
worried about
the
right now is this one's looking a little effeminate, so we're gonna have to make some adjustments. Mostly because the neck is too thin. Once I thicken the neck up, it'll be fine.
Yeah, their pupils are the same as humans.
Sweet.
Every time I'm I looked up bolians before, but this time also, there's like one that's like Rihanna as a bolian or something, like this weird Photoshop
That's
that I
fun.
keep finding.
It must have been a meme at some point.
Maybe I don't
Everything
know.
ends up being a meme at some point.
Everything that exists, sure.
I feel like that's just been the update to the rule like 34. Everything's a meme.
Well, I mean, Rule 34 still is true.
Yeah, I don't find it that true anymore. I really don't notice that nearly as much, and maybe it's because maybe I'm losing my degen powers.
All right, Chesh, I found out today that there is Rule 34 of the Lego crocodile piece.
Never change, internet. That makes me happy. Never change.
I just think that maybe the reason you're not noticing it as much is because it's found its place and it's not out in the open as much anymore.
I know, I find a considerable amount of prawn shows up whenever I'm on Blue Sky. I think that might be the algorithm just talking to me, though.
It knows
I
you.
mean, you're interacting with it, so.
That's what I said.
Okay, fair enough.
Just square up this face a little bit. I'm becoming jaded in my old age, yeah, maybe. Man, I found that there are a ton of B tier, F tier like Korean and Chinese dramas just all over YouTube, and they have all the music and like Foley sounds taken out, and they're just like roughly fan translated, and I'm like, this is the slockiest shit I have ever seen. You'll never guess what I've been watching nonstop. I love it, man. It's ridiculous. Alright, this is starting to look a little bit better.
There, Chesh, I sent you an alligator, a crocodile, or whatever the Lego piece is supposed to be.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that? And there's a guy currently trying to make a 3D print file for it. So
That's, maybe I'm just not part of the right spaces. That's like, that's a sharp, straight line on his face. God damn. One of these days, somebody's gonna ask me to draw something that I've been, like, waiting for it to come up, and it hasn't come up, and one of these days somebody will, and I'm gonna squeal.
You're just gonna walk over to them, shake their hand vigorously, and be like, "Thank you."
Finally! And no, I'm not gonna tell you all what it is, because then you'll know.
Well, yeah.
It won't
obviously.
count.
Yeah, if you just tell us, then we'll just request it now, and then it'll be over. Like,
Oh my god, the raccoons. Hell yeah. Finding old Canadian TV shows to watch is a lot of fun, too. I definitely recommend watching Reboot, if you haven't seen it. It's very good.
I've been watching, also, on a side tangent, I've been watching Who's Line
Oh, hell yeah.
for a little bit.
I throw one of
Apparently
those on
they
every so
had-
often.
Apparently they had one that was in Britain in
Yep.
before the American one.
I mean, that
Just like
usually
everything
else.
happens, yeah.
Anything good does not start here. I've been watching the second best hospital in the galaxy.
Go on.
It has some Chesh Goblin energy. It is a like comedy drama animated show with some very crude humor, and it's fantastic.
Sounds like something Chesh would watch.
It is, yeah, it is superbly adult, as Wifey just says. If you ever want to watch it, Chesh, just let me know. I'll stream it for you.
Oh man.
I just grabbed me a glass of my delicious wine I got today.
Nice. What does it taste like? Give us a review.
So it's Apothic Inferno. So it's the Apothic brand, like dark red wine. So it tastes very much like you would expect a red wine to.
Uh-huh.
But they do the final aging in a whiskey barrel, so it gets a lot more tannins to it than it usually would have.
Interesting.
So it's got a lot more of that like bitter bite, and I happen to like that. So
Nice. I probably should have thrown a beer in the fridge. I'll probably do that now, actually. All right,
I don't get a drink here.
Hopkins. Thoughts on this process so far before I do anything else right now? And, well, I put my beer in the fridge and get a fresh tea. And go get the potato I threw in the air fryer. Listen, I've barely eaten in like 3 days. Oh,
Yeah, you
legs.
haven't been doing streams or anything recently.
No, I
so-
died. I unalived
Yeah.
for a little bit. I'll be back in a second. I can't hear you, so, if you get in trouble, it's
Fair.
not my fault, Dapper.
Fair.
I would never get Dapper in trouble. I like Dapper.
I'm just having a look at chat.
Yeah, I've been playing Borderlands for half the day. Borderlands 2. One of my friends decided he needs to play through Borderlands 2 and finish it since he never did. Since 4's coming out, I'm like, oh yeah, you probably do that. And then he hasn't done 3 either, and he wasn't going to buy it while it was on sale, and it was like $3, so I threw it at him.
I mean, the summer sale has been insane with some of the deals.
The only thing I got so far is I bought him Borderlands, and then I bought Squirrel with a Gun.
Wasn't there a controversy recently with Borderlands?
Yes, there's always controversy with Borderlands, but yeah, the main guy said some things that people didn't like again. The most recent one is he said that Borderlands 4 isn't going to get deep discounts right off the bat. So it'll be because like Borderlands and Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, they all got discounted pretty quickly on Steam, but Borderlands 3 did not. And he said Borderlands 4 is going to be like that. It's not going to just immediately get the big sales.
Well, that's
And
most games.
apparently that made people mad. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's just most games.
most of that is just because he had, recently also said something else on it, and recently also said something else on it. So,
Yeah. Because I've been watching Jesse Cox, and he does a weekly podcast sort of thing. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do. I've seen a bit of it.
Yeah, he does a weekly thing, and sometimes that comes up, like the controversies with Borderlands stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's most of what I've been doing. I'm probably going to play some Monster Hunter in a bit. They just Monster Hunter Wilds just did title update 2, so we got 2 I would say new monsters. They're returning monsters, so we got Legiacris and Seregios, which nobody calls Seregios. They all call him Steve. So we got Laggy and Steve back.
Yeah.
So we're all happy. We haven't had Laggy since Generations Ultimate, and then we've had Steve in the last few games, but he's always fun. He's a little like bronzy gold colored wyvern, but his neck scales are on backwards, so they point forward instead of pointing backwards, and he can shake his head and fling them at you.
Of course. And they probably automatically regenerate after 3 seconds.
They grow back pretty fast, and then he causes the bleed effect, which is one that doesn't get used near enough.
Probably annoying, but
yeah, it can be. When they first put him in the game, they had one of the little shows, and they showed like concept art of him, and somebody asked them what the monster's name was, and they never give you the monster's names early. So he said, "Oh, I think it's Steve." And that just became the fan name for him, as he's Steve now.
Well, with any thriving online community, there's going to be stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, in any group you play with, we all give like nicknames to the different monsters, and
of course,
like, nobody calls any of the Monster Hunter things by their actual names.
Well, half the time, unless it comes on screen, you're not going to know them anyway. So
yeah.
At least in general, like people who are super into it are gonna know all the names, of course. But
yeah, I mean, it says it on their armor and stuff, but like for the most part, you're gonna, like Levisieth. Nobody says Levisieth. Most of them will call them like Firefish or something like that, or Lava Fish, or whatever. There's one we all call Click Clack, and if you say Click Clack, anybody that plays Monster Hunter, that they know who that is. It's Ignactor. Which if you're playing the old game and you need to kill, there's Acantor and Ignactor, and if you say which one you need to kill and get it wrong, people will get mad at you because one of them is really easy to kill and one of them is really not.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time that I drew Nigel Thornberry as a Sailor Scout?
That is fantastic.
That sounds familiar, but I don't remember watching you do it.
It's in the Discord somewhere, I'm sure.
Well, probably.
Cursed.
I don't know if John Hopkins did get back to you. Says yes. It looks really good.
Trust the process by adding red, so it's trusting the process, but I don't know how it actually looks 3D-ish to me. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons why. Most of it is because your eyes are playing tricks on you, which is how all art works. I'm lying to you.
Chesh is a liar. Confirmed.
Yes, correct. Like that is how I like mentally like conceptualize the way I do art.
Someday I will figure out how I do art.
My artistic philosophy. I'm assuming that this keeps going down their whole body and isn't just their head. It kind of looks like it on the reference photo, so I'm gonna assume that it keeps going, and I'm gonna work with that.
I think I found maybe one shirtless bolian, and it does go down on that picture at least.
We're going down on shirtless bolians now.
Phrasing.
I just deliver the news.
And the main reason why things tend to look 3D like that is because just depth perception mostly.
Your brain takes a lot of the depth perception from the stereoscopic vision of your eyes, but it also does a lot with shading, shadows, colors. A lot of that your brain uses to kind of figure depth and shape out. So as long as that is present, your brain will try to make it three-dimensional.
There's a trick as well going on here, which is it's mostly this middle line that's actually doing all the heavy lifting. And it's doing the heavy lifting because it is not the same. It's not like a hard straight line, right? It varies, and like the color is varying. And so because the color is varying, it's tricking your brain into thinking there are parts that are deeper and parts that are like more hidden away, as opposed to, so like it's the inconsistency that's actually doing the trick. And so like having like a little bit of light around, like a lighter blue around on the edge makes it look like it's like popping out more than it actually is. Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck is technically a playable character in the RPG I'm running right now on my channel.
Nice. Wonderful.
There's a group, there's a race called the Mallard, and it's just a duck. And if you look at the artwork, it's like straight up Darkwing Duck. It's absolutely straight up Darkwing Duck.
I'm going to use a little bit of like hard dark lines on this. So this one's actually gonna look a little bit different than the other ones because I painted it instead of like doing a sketch first. All of the artwork that we've done for characters, I've started with an actual like physical sketch, like traditional sketch, because like my forte is not in digital painting. I'm actually not very good at this at all. My skills lie in sketching and inking. So this one's gonna look a little bit different because I just used an entirely different process. And I'm using a different brush. But, you know, it'll be fine. Adding the dark lines will make it look a little bit more, like, consistent with the other ones, so it'll be okay.
But yeah, Chesh, if you got a Wednesday free and you wanna jump in on our stream and be Darkwing Duck for a day, I'd be down for that.
Oh my god. Darkwing Duck. Oh.
I mean, you could also just be a goblin, but you know.
Yeah, what's the difference between Darkwing Duck and a goblin?
Web feet.
Oh, fair enough.
Which is actually a skill in that game. No, it's been fun. I've been running Dragonbane Wednesdays on mine and wifey's channel, and all of my players are like 5e experienced, but have like next to no experience with Dragonbane, which is a substantially more brutal system.
Oh yeah. I enjoy systems that like to be more hardcore-y.
So the way Dragonbane works, you get one action per round. So that is your action, reaction, bonus action. No, you get one. So you have to choose on your turn, do I attack, do I use an ability, or do I do nothing so that I still have my action available if I need to dodge or something? So you have to like actually like actively put thought on like, oh, do I attack this turn, or do I keep my action available to do a reaction on it? So
Yeah.
like, initiative turn order is really important, and it reshuffles every round.
Oh god. That sounds like it might make combat take forever, but it does sound crunchy. I do like crunch.
So there's no levels. It's kind of like Star Trek is, where we might change our abilities or things a little bit, but there's no actual levels.
Sure.
So nobody ever has more than like 20 hit points.
Oh, okay. So that combat doesn't take too long.
Combat doesn't usually take very long.
Interesting.
It's a fun system.
Sounds neat, yeah. I have a character that I had a character that I made whose entire premise is action economy. So it's just like, I can attack on my turn, I can attack on your turn, I can attack on my friend's turn. It's like, but you only have run reaction. Yes, but. And so I made them a rogue as well, so that way they had just more chances to roll more dice to do more damage.
Nice.
Very silly. She's a robot. By she, I mean they. They are a robot. I called them a they, but I played with a bunch of dudes, so they just called it a she, and now she has boobs. And they're like, why does the robot have boobs? I'm like, because you're all men.
You need an excuse to put boobs on something?
Basically, yeah. I said that they're pockets. So they open up.
Where else would you put your battery packs?
Basically, yeah. Actually, interestingly enough, they don't need a battery pack because their battery pack is built in. The battery pack is like actually astral diamond that was part of the lattice of heaven in a piece that was still like a lattice that has far realm energy inside, like locked inside of it.
Nice.
So it's like just a perpetual energy machine.
I love making characters. In fact, Sunday, wifey and I are probably going to do a live on our channel. I've got those cool Oracle tarot card like story and character generators. We're probably just going to sit and play with those on stream live for a while.
That's fun. Have you ever used the deck of many things as a DM?
I have the physical printed one.
But have you used it?
I have the actual. I have given it to players twice. I have had one group that was absolutely terrified and would not touch it, and I had another group like, cards, pull the cards.
There's only two options.
But I do have the actual the run they did where they did physical printed deck of many things. I have the actual like big card physical deck, and I love it.
Oh man, that's so cool. I have the deck of many things set up for some players to grab from, but I've cheated the deck because that's how you play it if you want the game to continue and you want your players to actually be able to use it. So I've cheated the deck, and there's only specific cards that they actually can draw. Of course, they don't know that, but
yeah, I've got the actual deck of many things. I have the actual 3-dragon ante, which is really fun to play, and then I have the actual Turakoa deck.
The longer I work on this, the more like slowly realistic this is gonna start to come together to look.
It's looking really good already.
It's not bad. I feel like I'm out of practice, to be honest. Probably because I'm out of practice.
Yeah.
If
You haven't
you
been
do
doing
art
art streams recently, so yeah.
Yeah, if you do art, you're out of practice.
You're always out of practice.
That's every once in a while. I'll jump on Picardo and stream on Picardo, and I've got a couple artist friends that'll drag me into multi-stream, and they are like really fantastic furry artists. And then I've got like my scribbles next to it. I'm like, oh yeah, I love having your like beautiful like physical pencil sketch and shaded marvelous masterpiece here, and then my scribbles next to it. And people are watching both of those. That doesn't make me feel self-conscious at all.
I set up a art study for myself to do a bunch of Ghibli stuff. And I never, like, I set the whole thing up and then I never did it. I was like, here's all of the stuff that I need to study, like, Ghibli backgrounds. And then I was just like, anyway, Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I really need to practice backgrounds.
I wish I could get into the habit of doing art streams while also, like, listening to Tucker Carlson and stuff. But, like, I just don't know if my face does the right things anymore. Like, because, like, the whole reason I got a webcam, right, a long time ago was because I was doing art streams all the time, and I make faces. My face is very goofy. I'm very much a caricature of a person. So,
It's hard to do art and not make weird faces.
well, yes. And so, like, I'm concerned that I'll, like, miss things and won't be paying attention or won't make the right face at the right time anymore because I'm busy focusing on the art instead, or I'm looking down all the time instead of looking up. But I guess if I can, like, I don't know, whatever. I feel like I'm just trying to do too much at a time.
Yeah, we were doing some streaming, wifey more than me, where we were doing some mini painting, and it took us a long time to figure cameras out for it.
Yeah.
And we actually ended up with the camera, like, on the table, like on the desk, right in front of you, facing where your hands are, so you're actually reaching around the camera to paint.
Yeah.
And that was the only way to get the camera to actually be, like, properly on what you were doing. As otherwise, the camera can't pick up what you are doing.
Yes. Yeah, I've got 2 cameras now, so I could set it up to do my face and my hand, but
I have like 50 cameras. They're everywhere.
only
2 good ones, as wifey says.
Chesh is fake confirmed. Yeah, I'm not real. I'm fake news. I never really existed.
AI generated.
How dare you? Rude. This is going way better than I thought it was going to today. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I'm probably not even gonna be able to finish anything today. I'm an idiot right now.
Lieutenant Matt, the Navigator's right. You are less fake than Baraminology.
Hey, let's go.
I listen to Dapper. I listen to his videos.
Do you now?
While I'm at work.
Yeah.
And of course, my work, I have a commercial Class A license. I'm driving, a 61,000 pound truck down the highway while listening to the rage-inducing.
Oh my god! And you're like, I'm not going to turn off the road. I'm not going to turn off the road. I'm not going to turn off the road. And
it's like the whole time I'm like, anybody that watches me drive past them is probably terrified.
It's like I could just end it all right now.
Really, people, it's not road rage. It's rage, but it's not road rage. I promise.
Right, you're gonna make Dapper responsible.
I listen to Dapper a lot. I'll listen to, like, Vice Rhino and stuff a lot.
I haven't listened to Vice Rhino in a really long time. How's he doing?
He's doing good. I love it. Somebody did, like, a response to him, or they accused him of, like, not taking things serious. So he did a response to the response wearing a Rhino onesie.
Did he also have, like, an apron and have, like, a Wendy's container?
Yeah, he's done so many fun things like that. I like Vice. He does good stuff.
Good old Canadian boy.
But yeah, that's what I listen to a lot when I'm, driving.
Hello, Badia.
Yeah.
Sorry, I died. Don't mind me. Maddie was trying to get a hold of me, and I was just like, I had like everything basically turned off, and I was like dead to the world.
Yeah, like
there is now a cat licking my foot.
So, Dapper's right. You're gonna crash into someone, and their family is gonna sue Dapper.
No, I will make sure that they understand that Dapper was the one keeping me sane, and that without Dapper there, it would have been so much worse.
I think it's funnier if you blame Dapper.
Creation's fault.
I knew Manya was coming before she showed up in chat, by the way.
Hey.
I put the link to this video in Chess's Discord, and she thumbs up it, and then like 2 minutes after that, she sent that message.
Yeah, and I'm less apt to crash as I am to hit one of the magical switches that just scatters rocks all across the road.
How'd your stream go, Manya? Did you get that one done? Is today technically a day of mourning? For America, land of the free. Now is day of mourning. Happy July 4th, day of mourning.
Yeah, I guess so.
R.I.P. America.
I mean,
you're
not wrong.
It's like, where's the lie? It's.
I mean, 4th of July, it's our Independence Day, and now we get our reverse of independence on 4th of
Happy Big Brother Day.
You get independence from being a country.
It's Redependence Day.
Actually, I was having a conversation the other day that I thought was super duper interesting, and it was basically the concept of just taking away America's identity as America and never calling them America anymore and only calling them the United States, because all of the identity of a lot of the toxic identity comes with this ideal of being an quote unquote American. So if you just stop calling them American, because guess what? Canadians are American, Mexicans are Americans, people from Brazil are Americans.
So many of my coworkers, my right-wing coworkers, are like, "Oh, it's America." No, this is the United States. Our country name is not America. It is. Yeah. Our country name has never been America.
You don't have a country name.
We are the United States.
Yep.
Of America tells you where those are, but our name is the United States.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Manya, the Murica thing gets me so much. I cannot stand, especially when people write it out. Like, we had a guy locally that had Murica written on his tailgate on his truck, and I'm like, no, dude, that is so disrespectful. If you're gonna try to say like this is who we are, you might want to get the spelling and pronunciation right.
It's one of those things where it's like, I think that could be effective if enough people did it, but unless enough people do it, it's like one of those. But if like the internet just collectively decided that, yeah, we're not calling you America anymore, we're just calling you United States.
Yeah. No, Chesh, I can tell you right now, I never used to talk about the Gulf of Mexico ever.
Yeah.
I find reasons to bring it up now just so that I can say Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. America is renaming everything else. Why not rename them?
Just start calling them United States and stop calling them America. I just think it would be I think it would be really effective. Well, and that's the other thing that's the next part of the equation, right? The next part of the equation comes when it's like, are they united? And that's something for them to sort out, right? But
and Dapper's been calling it very accurate as, the former United States. That's very accurate.
The artist formerly known as
Prince. Fingerprints? I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, Sapphire, technically, if you go north from the Gulf of Mexico far enough, you'll always get to where you're at. You just might have to circumnavigate the globe. I mean, it's a globe, so technically everything is north of everything.
I just think it takes away a lot of the bluster and a lot of the empowerment that people who don't deserve to be empowered feel.
My best thing I have found for dealing with...
Oh my god, somebody got my Animaniacs reference.
Yeah, I got you. I almost chimed in on it too, because you did the fingerprints one.
Big preach, bro.
Yeah, so what I found helps with a lot of the current weird, excessive maggot trumpet kind of attitude right now is when they talk to you and they try to tell you things, just play as dumb as you can and ask them to explain things to you. Like, I'm sorry, I don't get that. Can you explain? And their head will explode if you make them explain things.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I've done that a couple of times during my live streams when, like, crazy conservatives have come in to try to be like, oh, this, oh, that. And I'm like, okay, can you explain that then? And I'm like, can you please explain to me why you would vote for this? Like, what parts of this are convincing or compelling to you? And they only answer with, like, oh, the economy. It's like, okay, but what
Yeah.
about the economy? Like, what about the economy? What makes you think this is good for the please tell Elmo. Tell Elmo!
Yeah, so I have a coworker
Then they run away.
who is from Mexico and is very much pro-Trump and very much Trump everything. And he was bragging at one of our work meetings about how he has, just completely trumped, like just completely just trampled on all these leftist liberal during all of these little talks he
Owned
had with
the
them.
libs.
And he was talking to me. I'm like, okay, cool. Explain that to me. And then he would do the standard thing that Trump does, where he, deviates and starts talking about something else, goes off on some other weird random point, and like, okay, that makes sense. How does that have to do with, like, how are those connected? And the deer in the headlights look you get at that point, like, but connected what?
What do you mean connected? Yeah, how is this not a non sequitur? It's just like I yelled. I probably yelled. I don't know. There's one guy came in, or there's been a couple of times these guys came in where when I was talking about like the Canadian conservative guy, and this guy comes in, or a couple of them came in, and they were like, "Oh, well, we want this tax break, so to make things like affordable again." And I'm like, "How much of a tax break would you need to be able to afford a house? If you got taxed 0%," because I was like, "Look at this tax isn't even. It's like a 20% tax." Off of the tax you're already paying. It's not a full 20% tax on whatever you make. It's like this to this. So you're not even getting 20%. You're only getting 20% of 5% that you're being taxed. So,
Yeah.
but even if I took away all of the taxes you were ever paying, if I removed all of them in totality, you're only gonna make an extra maybe $10,000 a year. Maybe, I doubt it. But, like, if I'm being generous, is that gonna be enough? And the answer is no.
Well, it's like the area I live in, housing is stupid. So the average housing cost in California, so I'm in California, the average housing cost is $706,000 right now. The average cost in my area is like 560,000, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I haven't looked up recently. The house right down the street from me just sold for $670,000. I mean, we have all these people building houses, bringing in, like, who is actually buying these? There's not that much money in this area.
Yeah. Manya
like-
in the chat says, the other countries will pay more tariffs. Okay, why and how? 404 error, America.exe, it says stopped working.
I love Trump's, like, China will pay the tariffs. China will pay the tariffs. China will pay the tariffs. Well, Walmart should eat the tariffs they're having to pay. I thought China was going to pay those.
Why does Walmart have to pay for them? Not that I care about Walmart, to be honest. Walmart trying so hard to exist in Canada is so funny. So, like, Walmart was never really doing very well up here. Like, they never had, like, a good brand name. So people went to Walmart, but they only went to Walmart because it was, like, the most convenient. So, like, giving everybody on the planet, or at least giving everybody in Canada an excuse to not go to Walmart was, like, perfect. So, bye. Companies will grow bananas in America. Where? Hawaii. I don't know, man.
Volcano erupts and burns down all their like banana trees.
Pele would too. Pele would give a fuck. Pele'd be like, "Get the hell out of here, you bitch." Pele's got an attitude. Yeah, Manya, Madame Pele would throw a fit. Target did worse than Walmart. Oh yeah, one of the reasons is because Walmart got in earlier than Target did. In Canada,
Target.
at least. Target failed spectacularly in Canada. I'm so
they
proud.
were here for a few years and then all gone.
Oh, I'm so proud. So proud. Nothing makes me happier than watching a mega corporation just fucking shit itself. I love every second of it. More, please.
I think I went to a Target once in Canada, and that was it.
A lot of people went to
The whole
Targets
time
to
they were
check
there.
them out, but like Walmart only survived here because they were so big. in America, right? They wouldn't have survived in Canada if they had like didn't already have like a huge amount of money to work with in the first place.
Well,
But go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, didn't Target make a bunch of bad business decisions as well? Like,
Yeah, they expected to do just as well in Canada as they would have done in other places, and Canada's like already didn't like Walmart. Like Walmart's not popular here. It's something that
Mm.
people do, but it's not something that people really want, if that makes sense. Like if you know what I mean.
yeah,
Like they'll go to Walmart out of necessity, not because it's a nice place to go shopping, right? But there's also Canadian Tire, so like the only
Yeah.
thing is you're not buying groceries at Canadian Tire, and you can at Walmart.
Mm.
So like Walmart just doesn't do very well up here, and they were expecting to do better. But again, Walmart also showed up before like Zellers was gone. So,
Mm.
but now
Yeah.
now fucking Canadian Tire owns the branding and all of the stuff for Sears, for like the Hudson's Bay Company. So I don't know what that's gonna mean or what they're gonna do with it. It's kind of neat, but I really don't like. I don't know what this means.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it happened a little while ago. Like Hudson's Bay finally went all the way under, right? And so like I don't know what they're gonna do with it, if anything, or like because that's all the patents and stuff too, right? So it could be really interesting, especially since Sears and Hudson's Bay Company used to, you know how they're talking about like all the modular homes in Canada and stuff to try and help with the housing issues. Hudson's Bay, Sears used to sell modular homes that you could order from a catalog.
Yeah. They
So
did. Yeah.
so now Canadian Tire owns all of that. So I don't know what that's gonna mean.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know.
there's a lot, I guess, that could happen. But what will happen? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I remember watching a video of someone looking at an old Sears catalog, and you could buy a house that they would bring to you.
Yeah, they would show up and build your house for you. That's how it worked.
Yeah.
There are some states where you go to Home Depot, and instead of just buying like just Tough Shed, they'll have a Tough Shed house you can buy, and it builds a house.
I'm hoping that because of that kind of stuff, I'm kind of hoping that we're gonna see Home Depot slowly disappear up here and to get replaced with Home Hardware, because Home Hardware is the Canadian one. You go anywhere in Canada,
Yeah.
you'll find a fucking Home Hardware somewhere.
Yeah.
There's one in like every fucking city, like no matter how big they are.
Yeah, we have Home Depot, Lowe's, or you go to the local guy who costs 3 times as much.
You're
Which
working
sucks,
this
'cause-
weekend, Manya? What the hell? You didn't tell me how your stream went. But also,
She
good luck.
did, but
Did
it
she?
was in a regular message
Oh, I didn't
up
see
here
it.
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'll be fine.
Yeah, chat. When we ask you questions, you have to super chat Dapper to respond. It's just the law.
Right now. You tagging me at Chesh also doesn't highlight because I'm on the top hats off, so I can't. So
Yeah.
I don't see it.
She's not like she usually is, having like 5 YouTube channels open at the
I
same time.
do that sometimes. How dare you expose me like this?
I only have 2 open unless I go to Wifey's computer, and then I'll open hers too.
This is so mean.
The only reason I know it happens is because on Debate Hub videos or streams, you'll have Debate Hub and Chesh at the same time.
Yeah, that's mostly for the aesthetic purposes. I just don't
And
want to.
for Jillian, Underwater Land Bridge Ren. I grew up in a little itty bitty mountain community, and all we had up there was an Ace Hardware. So I am so blind to the existence of Ace Hardware because I'm so used to having to drive an extra hour because Ace Hardware didn't have it because it was just a little itty bitty mountain town. So I am so blind to the very existence of Ace Hardware.
You know, I did forget Rona. That's a good point. John, does your bolian have any like jewelry, like earrings or anything like that?
Oh, and just for the record, what Manya said was she finished and people were losing their minds on Twitter.
Oh, that sounds about right. that's about what I would expect from a Manya stream.
I had to scroll up, and for some reason the chat was laggy when I scrolled up that far. But
All right, no earrings. Gotcha.
Speaking of dead name Twitter here, did you see the post that Musk did where he was commenting about his whole chainsaw thing and how that was in bad taste and he shouldn't have done it?
He's apologizing for the chainsaw, but not the Hitler salute.
Oh, no. He didn't apologize for it. He just said that somebody handed him the chainsaw backstage and he went with it and that he shouldn't have done it because he didn't actually apologize.
Oh.
he just said it was in bad taste.
He's like, I shouldn't have done
But he
it, but
didn't
I'm not
say
sorry and I'll do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic beta male behavior.
You know what I'm thinking?
Has anybody...
If-
Sorry,
Oh.
you go first. Because I was
It's all good.
gonna answer with what you might be thinking, but I know it's definitely not, so go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say something about bolians. If they probably would have people who have jewelry that goes along the line that goes down their face, so they'd have like little piercings that go down it.
That'd be kind of neat.
I think that would be a thing.
It'd be pretty punk.
It would be.
Be very punk of them. Talk to you later, Manya. I was gonna say, has anybody put Elon into the Omega verse yet?
I don't know.
You guys know what the Omega verse is. Zerolon knows what the Omega verse is. You can't tell me he doesn't. So he fucking...
I do, but I currently have a barbecue T-bone steak, so I'm shoveling food in my mouth.
I was like, this man's gonna leave me fucking hanging here. Like,
I'm sorry, I'm quiet right now. I have really good meat to eat, so
he's got really good
He's
meat
like-
to eat, guys. You heard it
That's
here.
what that is. It's not anything else.
Definitely. This is a PG-13
Well-
show.
I draw furry art, guys. You can go as hard as you want on me. I don't care. I guarantee you, I hear worse.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
The wifey just said I hear worse from her because she's next. She's right next to us. She's 5 feet away.
Does this bolian have any scars? Been through any tough times?
Give him the handsome Jack scar from Borderlands.
I need to remind myself what he is good at.
Who?
I
Hopkins?
think he's a oh yeah, he's a scientist. So maybe he has seen combat, maybe not, but
Maybe
I don't
he
know.
got beaten as a child. I don't know.
yeah, I'm just saying he's a scientist. So take that into account.
Is that are piercings approved for the Starfleet uniform? Probably. I don't see why not. Starfleet is pretty lax about that kind of stuff. Like piercings and things. I like, especially when they're
Is it-
like.
Isn't there a character that has like huge hoop earrings or something at one point?
Well, I mean, lots of Uhura existed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know. Since we're saying he's young / innocent, upbeat, I'm thinking he's been pretty sheltered and hasn't been up to much since joining Starfleet. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I just want to make sure. I like working with people when I'm designing their stuff. So it's really nice when people are in the chat. This is again, all of this is just giving me flashbacks to when like all I'd streamed was art, and like me and chat would come up with like so I say me and chat, but chat would come up with like the most cursed stuff, and I would just paint the cursed stuff because they'd be like, "Oh, you won't, you wouldn't," like they. They come up with some idea and they'd be like, "Oh, this would be really funny," not thinking I would actually do it, and then I turn around and actually do it.
No, I'll draw anything. I have a few people that commission me fairly frequently. I have one guy that commissions me a lot, and he always like constantly gives me extra details and this and that, and I'll give him an update and be like, "Oh, cool," and oh, can you change this? Can you change this? And he's always apologizes. I'm like, do not apologize. I want that. I
But-
want feedback.
As long as you give me the feedback early enough, I don't get it. I don't get irritated.
Like,
If you give me
yeah,
the
I would-
feedback when
I would
I'm
much rather-
done, then I'm gonna get irritated at you.
Yeah, I would much
Yeah.
rather you give me feedback as I'm going than wait till the end and then find out, 3 weeks later when you comment on the post all the things that were wrong.
Yeah. I think it's. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I understand how that feels. Like when someone is making art and then you feel like you're telling them they're a bad artist by saying change this thing or change that thing. That is the mindset that.
That's okay. All artists think they're bad artists. Don't worry about it.
All artists are bad artists. You cannot convince us otherwise.
Facts. Doesn't matter how good we are. Doesn't matter how much money we make. We will all just think we're bad all the time.
But yeah, it comes from a mindset of thinking you're insulting the person. That's why you apologize. At least
Can I
for
send
me,
you a
that's what it would
decent
be.
copy of your character art? You even want like a PNG of it? Yeah, I can do that. I can probably do that like right now before I forget. Actually, let me just do that right now. One thing that as an artist, okay, I do this. Maybe I don't know, Zeralon. You can tell me if you do sort of the same thing. I let like once somebody commissions me for a piece of art, when the art is done, it's their art. Like I don't want anything to do with it.
No, it is their art. They can post it, they can edit it, they can do what.
Oh, I'm lagging. Sorry, 1 second. Lag. Oh, Discord, oh no. Uh-oh. I think it's just Discord. I think it's just me. We're still live and everything looks good on my end. I think it was just Discord just decided to eat shit. So, hey everybody, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna close Discord real quick. I'm gonna rejoin, and I'm sure everything will be fine. I'm sure everything is okay. Oh no. Oh, Discord is not happy with me. Oh, it still thinks that. Okay, that's a... Let me just... Oh boy. Why does Death Stranding have 2 end credit scenes? Man, I don't know. Is it one of those things where it's like, oh, here's a pretend ending and then here's the real ending? Is it one of those? Yeah, I had to close out of Discord. Thank you for letting me know that you guys can still hear me, though. I should save this. I haven't saved this at all yet. Like living on the edge. You're on the 8th ending. Is Death Stranding's the one that was the Hideo Kojima game? That was like with a baby? Is that one? Oh no, my task manager crashed. Oh boy. This is gonna be fun times. I love it when this kind of stuff happens. Alright. Okay. I think we're back.
But
Hello.
hello.
Hi.
You abandoned us.
Sorry. My thing crashed.
We were having to talk about our lives and our feelings. Like, come on, Chesh. Why would you make us go back to reality?
Happy 4th of July.
And I saw that you were still streaming without us. Why would you leave us out?
Just kicking us to the curb, throwing us away like garbage.
I'm gonna kill somebody. I don't know who yet. I haven't decided. Let me just get
I can get a list for you.
Jillian here. There you go, Jillian. Here's a full picture. You have gray hair now, though. Congratulations.
Yeah, we can give you a short list of targets if you need.
Listen, I don't need help. Not that kind of help. Oh. God.
Oh, you need help, but
There is no help for me. Nobody can help me. I'm a nightmare.
My usual response when somebody's like, "Do you need help?" is to say, "You lack the psychiatric degrees to help me."
Ooh, that's a good one.
Unless you're talking to someone with those psychiatric degrees.
Should make a generic minority come on and do a whole psychoanalysis of me and like do therapy on me for a couple of couple of streams. It'll be really funny.
Well, let
He'd
me
be
just
like,
say,
no, I don't want you to hate me.
well, actually, he said that he had a creative way of doing it
I think it'd be funny.
because he messaged me in private.
Guys, my therapist just screamed and jumped out of a 10th story window. Is that a good sign?
Am I doing it right?
Did I just win therapy?
Did I win therapy?
It depends. Are they going to assign you a new one?
Why are you treating the therapist like they're your DM?
That's not what this is.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, generic minority said he would be willing to do it through psychoanalyze you through the lens of anime.
Oh yeah, he did mention something like that. That sounds really. It does sound interesting.
Which anime? Because that changes it.
I don't know.
I'm not.
didn't ask him that particular question.
It sounds
he just
interesting.
meant anime in general, but
it means he's gonna call me a tsundere. That's what it means.
My favorite anime is Cowboy Bebop, but there's some others I really like too. I really like Outlaw Star. I think Outlaw Star needed more. That was, obviously we've got, One Piece. You can't not like One Piece. It's just which of the thousands of episodes do you actually like most?
I know some people who don't like One Piece because they couldn't get into like it took too long to start. Personally, I love the opening to One Piece. I love that every character in the main cast gets a whole like fucking little mini arc right at the beginning of the series. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward because they're rebooting it. They're gonna go back and remake all of it as an anime.
Leave me alone.
With the knowledge that it ends up more adult and dark than they started.
Oh yeah.
So they're gonna try to throw that energy to begin with, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to that.
That's interesting.
I liked the live action. It's the only live action anime I've liked.
I haven't watched the live action one yet, but it is very interesting because like there was some really dark stuff right at the beginning of One Piece, like Sanji and stuff.
So there's actually not going to do spoilers, but there's actually a couple parts in the live action that they go darker than they did in the anime by far.
That's cool.
They do like condense it a lot because they condense like 3 seasons into a season, so they do condense it a lot.
I think
but
they
do a good
that,
job
yeah.
with it.
There was one thing that I was like not. The one thing that I was like, I really am not very keen on is like Sanji is really dated. Like he's a really dated character. Like he really desperately needs to not be like. You have him be like a little bit of a man whore if he wants, but like can we like can he calm down just enough, please? Thank you. That he's not like gross. I don't mind him being like a little bit of like a cornball, but like can we like tone it down a little bit and maybe make him a little bit more respectful?
Yeah, I don't mind him being the little man whore. It's the fact that is his main personality.
Yeah.
Like, can we focus on how he wants to be the best chef ever as his primary and add in the rest of it?
Or just have him actually just like women and act like he just likes women. That'd be great too. John in the chat is asking, I've never watched anime, but is the live action worth looking up anyway? For One Piece, yes, I would say. I haven't watched it yet, but from what I've heard, yeah, absolutely.
So, you will be missing a lot of what made the early One Piece good if you start with the live action. Like, for example, one of the big, and it's from Sanji's arc, Don Krieg, one of the big villains.
Oh, Don Krieg.
They write him out of the live action.
Interesting.
He's not in because they condensed the story. That has to be a different group of pirates.
Yep.
So, in order to like pay homage to that, when they introduce Hawkeye Mihawk, or Dracul Mihawk, depending on which translation you use, they have him just wiping that pirate group out. So he's fighting Don Krieg. that never happened in the actual anime. That was completely different.
Doesn't mean anything, or it doesn't mean the same thing.
So in order to keep Don Krieg in there, since he was important, they added him in at a different spot. Because they end up, instead of Don Krieg, it ends up being the Arlong Pirates. And it's like, okay, cool, it's a different pirate group. Because they had to condense, they had to throw that arc in early.
I mean, some things work in that way, and some things don't. No, I'm not a fan of that either. I'll figure it out. I gotta figure out which brush I want to use for this. There's lots of stuff like that where it like works out and it doesn't. Like the Bleach live action is not that bad. Like it's for what it is. So if you don't like anime and you just want like some popcorny, there's a monster and there's a guy gonna fight the monster, and it's only like it's basically like watching like 1 or 2 episodes of Bleach. Like it's almost like not really worth it because it's like it doesn't go anywhere. Like that's the end. So it's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I didn't watch the Bleach one. I hated the live action Cowboy Bebop.
I love
Bebop.
Shame. Yeah, it's really a shame that one went the way it did. Did you watch the live action Ghost in the Shell by any chance?
I did not.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one either. I heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, honestly, after how bad Bebop was, I really didn't watch any of them. And then I like One Piece. I was like, no matter what, I have to watch One Piece. So I watched it. And honestly, you know what they did right that the other ones didn't from all the others I've watched. Every goofball, stupid, ridiculous, over the top thing that gets changed and all the others, like, oh nope, we got to add that in because it was in the anime.
I mean, yeah, that's one of the things that like live action has a hard time doing is dealing with like there's a lot you can do in animation that you cannot do in live action.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, cool. So Buggy the Clown's supposed to get all of his parts, and now he ends up like being this little tiny guy. Yeah,
Make him a little tiny guy. He's just a head.
Yeah, we're leaving that in. That gets to happen. Which
that's great.
Their casting for Buggy the Clown was great.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll be able to do more with it because it is one of those things where it's like once they get like the approval and once they get like the next season and stuff, they're kind of able to get away with doing more.
I know they're doing season 2. I think they're doing season 2 and 3 right now.
I think I'm pretty sure 3 got announced too. Did you watch? I watched the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender, and like I just like it's fine. Like it's got a couple of major plot holes in it and some things that I really didn't like. And I did my best. I promise you I did my best to watch it as if like I hadn't as a standalone. And I did my best. And I'm like, there's some problems here that I would have noticed regardless.
Have you watched Twisted Metal?
No.
Actually, good.
Really?
I was, because I grew up playing Twisted Metal as a kid, and I'm like, oh, cool. We got a movie adaptation of a video game that hasn't been popular in over a decade. This is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
It was actually good. It really reminded me of like an early like a Grindhouse kind of film.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
They did pay proper homage to a lot of the Twisted Metal stuff. They didn't they stuck close enough to the Twisted Metal franchise without being just like, oh, we have to follow exactly this, that it was actually good.
Sometimes that's one of the hard things, right, about an adaptation. You have to pick what you're going to keep and what's got to change. And it's not easy to tell what's going to work and what's not going to work. Adaptation is an art form of its own. Jumping mediums is not easy. I think people take it for granted.
Well, and that was like Sweet Tooth. I don't know how familiar you are with Twisted Metal, but Sweet Tooth, I was even watching it and liking it right because I liked it immediately. I'm like, oh god, they're going to kill this when they get to Sweet Tooth. Yeah. When they have to do Sweet Tooth, they're going to kill this. They actually handled Sweet Tooth very well.
For anybody who doesn't know, Twisted Metal, Sweet Tooth is like a crazy, evil truck driving clown.
He drives an ice cream truck that transforms into like a mech robot, which it did. Spoilers, it didn't do the mech robot in season 1.
It's only season 1.
They gave him like a better backstory. Well, he already had a backstory in the games, and they kind of added to it. But they gave a really good backstory of why he is who he is, and they really did a lot of good work with him. The big thing with Sweet Tooth is he doesn't have hair. He's bald. So he sets his head on fire to have hair, which is the flames. And they actually played into that very well. I was not sure what they were going to do with that, but what they did actually worked.
Okay, I'm low-key liking this character now. His bolian's looking pretty good.
This guy's looking great.
I think his bolian's looking pretty good. I think we should make the lips darker and then maybe a little bit less pink. Or maybe more pink, but more dark. Maybe like a darker purple. Like, it works really well on the nose, and it looks good on the cheeks, but I think the top lip is fine. I think the bottom lip is too light.
I think the bottom lip's a little too light. Maybe a blue or a purple added to it just a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go back down over here.
Do you want one of my artist tricks on that?
Mm-hmm.
Select your bottom lip, and then do as Control U in Photoshop, whatever your hue saturation
adjust it. Yeah.
Adjust it until you like it. Eyedropper that, and then undo that change so that you can add it in manually.
That's not a bad idea.
Silence. I was gonna say dead air.
I was throwing my plate away.
Waka.
Yeah, I am a very big fan when I work digitally, which most of what I do is digital, of, Control Z. Without Control Z, I would die.
Yeah. I still think I want the... Some of these lines need to be, like, chilled out a little bit. Like, they're a little bit harsh. This is too much up here. I'll pull this back a little bit.
I struggle with my line work. I've tried different brushes and things, and, like, I'm just using a hard round pressure sensitive right now, and I usually use something a little more chunky than that.
Yeah.
But it really depends on how much, like, shading and finish work I'm going to do to whether I want the chunky line or not.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, but line work is more my speciality than actual, my color theory is pathetic, in my humble opinion. So, like, it usually takes me a few tries to get close to sort of where I want. I also, like, struggle a little bit, too, mostly because, like, for all intents and purposes, I'm disabled at this.
So as far as, like, color theory things go, so Wifey every few months does a painting party at the game store, and everybody can come in, and the store provides all the paints and brushes and everything, and you buy a miniature and you go sit down and you can paint a mini. It's a big group. We've done it where we've had like 10 people. We've done it where we've had like 100. And I'm always there, helping out, and they're like, "Oh, look at my thing!" I'm like, "Yeah, that looked great. My color theory brain isn't dying right now at all."
That's unfortunate.
And as Wifey says, she says, to be fair, I say that about most of her stuff. Wifey's not as bad. We used to do similar painting parties at our house with some of our friends. And a couple of the people that came, they really liked the Skittles color schemes. They did really, really bright colors.
That's fine.
And had no idea, like, color theory, what you should and shouldn't put together. They didn't follow the 3-color rule. And I would cringe looking at what they were doing.
I love line work. It can get really expressive. There's like things that so like when Attack on Titan came out, I was like, oh, I don't like this. What is it about this that I don't like? And it's because they just use this really hard, chonky outline in their animation, and I was just like, I like the concept. I hate this application.
So the problem I had with their hard line is they didn't lighten it enough on the light side. Your line work can take a lot of the effects for shading, and when you see a lot of animation, we see a lot of things like that, you start to kind of associate line work with shading, and they didn't do that. So it just looked off.
It's like if I selected like so for anybody for people watching, it's like if I want the light coming from here, and then I have this bounce light back here. If I make this part, let me just make a new layer. If I make this part like really bright, so like it's almost white because this guy's like face is facing most of that, and I add like a little bit of this rim light in behind, it's gonna look a lot more put together. But if instead I don't use white and I actually make it red, and I add like this red bright, like there's a light here, and then I make this that color, that's not going to work. What you need to do is you need to still take it into red, but take it a little bit darker as the bounce light is, and then you add a highlight in there to shine it.
Yeah, Archer also had very hard lines, but Archer
Yes.
was more of a cell shade,
Yeah.
and they made it work because it wasn't, the line work didn't really feel like it was trying to be the shading.
It didn't interfere. Yeah.
Yeah. Any of the like Venture Brothers style, that Hanna-Barbera style animation typically has pretty harsh line work. But again, because of the shading, because the shading is also harsh, you don't get that effect where the line work kind of like if you look at Chesh's character right here, the light is coming from the kind of upper left across the face. So if Chesh made the line work on the left side of the face thicker than the right side of the face, it would look wrong.
Yeah, so like I'll just do it. I'll just show you. So if I took a black, like a hard line black, and I see how thin this line is here, if I made the line here like this big, and then maybe I pull it back a little bit and go in and maybe pull it back to there, it's gonna look weird because the light should be thicker back here. So if I reverse that and because the shadow should be on this side. So if I reverse that and make this thicker on this side, suddenly that actually makes sense, right? If you do it backwards, it doesn't work. And if your lines don't like taper in the right way, it makes the characters look almost out of place, like they're not in the scene they're supposed to be in. My beer just popped.
You get the South Park they've been cut and paste in. And that's what I got from Attack on Titan, is I got that feeling and I didn't like it. And there have been a few shows like that just, if the line work is off, it does not work.
I have obtained booze.
Oh no.
Booze is good. I've almost finished my glass of wine.
Anonymous Pie said artistically inept in every known dimension. You can still do art, I promise.
Yeah, you can do art. Everybody can do art. It's just finding which art you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just shutting out the I can't do art and just doing it.
Yeah. And it's one of the harder things to do, but it very much is just do it.
Well, there's a reason a lot of artists are known for like drug abuse or alcohol abuse, or because a lot of those things do shut that voice out and let you just kind of do anyways.
There's also like
not that I'm pro abuse on those things, but there's a reason there's that correlation.
Every artist has a vice, and that vice varies across. That vice can be anything. So if you're thinking about getting into art, just be aware that you will have a vice eventually, and it's just a matter of controlling it. I told that to a mom once who would come back by one of my streams saying that they wanted, like, their kid was interested in art, so they were chatting with me about it, and they were like, "Oh, what should I do? What about this? What about that?" And I'm like, you're gonna have a drug. You're gonna have a drug. And their kid is like 5, and I'm like, listen, your kid's gonna get attached to something. What that something is can be anything. It's just a matter of like managing it and figuring it out and like knowing how to deal and encouraging them through it anyway.
That, or they'll be like my mom and they will just be all around weird.
Sometimes that's just part of it.
Because my mom, she's been an artist forever. She does some fantastic art. Her specialty is acrylic paintings on abnormal surfaces.
Oh, that's cool.
Big emphasis on abnormal. And she's just weird all around. And she did this really cool like outdoor, like old, like turn of the century, like Wild West farm scene. and it was painted on an old antique metal outhouse lid that she found in the forest.
That's super cool.
She does really good hummingbirds, and I have hummingbirds that she painted on leaves that she found and pressed.
That's cool. Alpine is saying you do not have to be an artist to do art therapy. Correct. I recommend finger painting.
Yes.
Finger painting? Underrated.
Finger painting, and just grab you a blob, get you a blob of clay.
Yeah.
Not hardened clay, just plain Jane clay,
Blob.
and play with it. And when you're done, shove it back in the box.
Yep, you can get clay, and if you really have to, like, you can just get, like, Play-Doh.
Yeah, Play-Doh will work.
It'll do
Yeah,
wonders.
just play with it.
Like, one of the reasons, like, I get sick as often as I do is it happens really badly if I stop doing art. And I wasn't doing art for a long while, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm fucking sick. It fucks with your brain chemistry, man.
Sculpey is a good one. If you want to work with clay and you want to put a little bit of money into it, you can work with Sculpey. Sculpey does not harden up. You can do whatever you want with it. And when you're done, if you do like it, you throw it in the oven and it bakes hard.
There's does chocolate count? Yes. We're arguing with morons online. That seems like a little bit unlikely because that takes too much brain power, but yes, certainly possible.
Arguing with morons online might help you with the art therapy side, but it might make you need other therapy.
Yeah. Ton of dry air dry clay. Nice.
Air dry clay is good. It might still be in my drawer. I might have thrown it away. I had a rocktopus I was working on in Sculpey. I think I finally threw it away. I was making a D&D like table miniature of like a terrestrial octopus that was like covered in like plates to make it look like it was stone.
There are also, like, just keep in mind that there's a lot of free options that exist. So, like, don't feel like super duper tied down to like physical mediums are really, really good as well, but if you can't afford consistent physical mediums, you can get like canvases from the dollar store that have something painted on already and just paint it white again, or paint it black, or whatever flat color you want to use. But so there's like lots of workarounds, but at the same time, like, again, if worst case scenario, if you can't find anything, go find a free digital program like Blender.
Yeah, use Blender, MS Paint, use whatever. I have seen some fantastic work. There was actually a furry Pokemon comic artist that did amazing work, and sadly is no longer doing work. Her comic stopped, but she worked entirely in MS Paint, and I would have sworn she was using something like Photoshop.
Yep, you can use MS Paint to create the same kind of thing that I'm doing here. You just have to know how to manipulate the program, and that's just practice. Yes, no, passing a class is something different than just doing arts. You can just do shit.
Yeah, art
Part of my
classes,
difficulty, at least with visual art, is that I'm aphantasic. I can't picture the idea, and with drawing/painting, I get double vision within a few seconds starting. Hi, nice to meet you. I also have aphantasia. The double vision thing is a giant pain in the ass. You also get the thing where your eyes do that little... It's the worst.
Yeah, my big thing is I really overthink what I'm doing when I start drawing, and I try to start too clean. I get so much better results if I just start slapping crap onto a canvas and then refine it later.
Yep.
But my mind is also very technical, so I kind of struggle with that. I've got the art side and I've got the technical side, and the technical side usually wins. So I try to be a little too precise when I really need to just do something.
If you don't like doing traditional, like, or digital art because of aphantasia, Jillian has a good point. You do fiber arts, crochet, knit, because then there are patterns that you're following. You don't have to worry about thinking about what's going on. You can worry about thinking about the color later once you learn how to crochet. You can make like little stuffies or anything like that, and you simply just have to follow the pattern. And not that I don't mean to say simply as in it's easy. I just mean that it's like you don't have to concern yourself with visualizing in your head.
So Metageeky Platypus Librarian says has an odd form of color blindness, so I would probably hate their use of color. Actually, on miniature painting, that would probably give you an advantage with me because a lot of what I hate is when people start throwing in extra colors that aren't needed. And we do have a couple colorblind people that paint, and I've noticed that they usually don't do that. So that's a lot of what happens is you get somebody that's like, oh, I like the colors and I want all the colors.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
There's also a trick that when it was a little bit popular, was like a trend that went around TikTok, and it was, I'm going to paint in grayscale, but I'm picking colors, but I can't tell what the colors are. Let's see what I come up with. Try that, because you'll be surprised what you come up with.
Like I said, I usually work in Photoshop, and when I'm done with a project, I will usually make a adjustment layer at the very top, and I will turn the saturation on it to 0 so that it grayscales my art.
Yep.
And until it looks good in that grayscaled, you're not done. You've got more to work on.
Yeah. Does anybody know, by the way, what color this guy's uniform is supposed to be?
He's a science officer, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's blue, right?
Blue. But not the medical blue. It's got to be the science blue.
That's the darker blue, right?
Yeah, because there's 2 blue.
Bleu. Le bleu.
He's just a blue boy.
Just put it on. Please, not red. No, he's not red. Okay, so I have to think with my brain. Don't mind me, I'm just thinking with my brain.
That's what that steam is.
Yeah. Fuck off. Yes, and you're not wrong. All right. Also, one of the best things you can do if you're trying to learn how to do art, if you really want to put your art to another level, think about negative space. It makes things a lot easier.
To reiterate what we said earlier, there you go, Chesh in chat. That is the hex code for the Voyager Blue.
Oh, perfect. All right, so as you will see that I am currently grabbing that, you will see me go to the top right corner where I've got specific color selector where I will highlight the color code name and press enter and make sure we get the right one. Give me this copy and paste and enter. See how close we got. That is not even close. I definitely went way darker than that. That's super light.
It's very light. It is very light. Well, and something to remember about color, that is like the ideal perfect lighting. So when you think color, always remember that it can change very, very drastically depending on what the situation is, what the lighting is, even what is around. Blues specifically, like if you're in a forest, are going to look a lot different than if you're in like a hospital where there's no ambient colors around you.
Plus fluorescent lights.
Yeah, plus fluorescent lights. What exact lighting you have changes it. So this is like the straight up. This is the bluest blue of the blue you can get. So a lot of that's going to change from shadow. A lot of it's going to change from light. I know
colors look different depending on if you put another color beside them sometimes. So
yeah. So I know, like, I have someone that commissions me every so often. Hasn't commissioned me in quite a while, but I've done quite a few for him. And fortunately, I have enough people that commission me. I can say this without pointing out who it is. I hate their characters' colors. Hate them. Absolutely. I have never, not once, ever drawn their characters the color they actually have on their character sheet. Ever. I always alter them because their character colors do not work in any sort of a lighting. For one thing, like if you send me a reference sheet and you use actual pure white or pure black,
you're not.
I guarantee you, you're not getting that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. That's not how it works. That's not how colors work. That's not how anything works. That's literally how all zero things work. Things do not work like that. Yeah. I also don't use pure. There's no black on this. You will notice.
Yeah. So like I do my line work in black, but even that I'll usually change once I'm done. But white and black are not colors.
No, they're not.
White is the absence of color, and black is the absence of light. what I really don't like when I work on someone's character, it's like, oh yeah, look, they did this thing in black. Well, if it's black, how do I shade it? It's already black.
I use black, but I use black for specifically if I'm working on black and white inking. So, like, it's never really usually white either, but I will use black ink to do black line work on grayscale work, not on anything colored. So, like, the same as you would see in, like, a black and white comic book.
Yeah, and things like when you have a character like the white of the eyes, that don't use actual white.
There's no
use
white
gray.
on this either, yeah.
Yeah, use gray, or you use a beige, or put some, even if all you do is just a completely desaturated gray, don't make it white.
Because then you have nowhere to go.
You have nowhere to go. And we get that same thing when we're doing mini painting. People will paint white and black. I'm like, no, don't do those.
No.
Don't paint, skeleton bone instead of white. Paint, necromancer's cloak instead of black. Get these other ones, because then you can come back in and you can add in a little bit of actual black, or you can add in a little bit of actual white, and you can make it actually go ahead and pop and look nice. But you can't start with your absolutes.
Definitely don't start with your absolutes. You should start with the middleest of the middle of the road that you can. Except for some things. So, like, watercolor, you start light and go dark. Generally, because you can't really add light very well to dark in watercolor.
There's no white watercolor.
The median doesn't like it. It's hard to get lighter after you've put down a dark color. So, don't. But some of it just has to do with, like, the way your brain functions. How does your brain work? Sometimes it's easier to go from light to dark. Sometimes it's harder to go dark to light. It depends on who you are. You'll notice that I started pretty medium of the road and then went dark and then started adding lights. And then went back to adding darks again.
Chesh, have you heard the term slap chop for painting?
No, I don't think I have.
It's used in miniature painting a lot. And when you prime the miniature, you prime it in black.
Oh, yes, I've heard of the technique, yeah.
Then you prime it again in white, but only from the direction the light goes.
Yeah, it's a clever trick.
You come back with bright white, and you do your absolute highlights in bright white, and then you paint the whole miniature with translucent paint. So you're actually doing your highlights and your shading before your colors, and it is so bass-ackwards when you're doing it, but the effect is so good and takes no talent.
I've done that in paintings before. So if I'm struggling to paint something colored, what I'll do, if I'm, like, happy with my line work. No, I haven't heard of the Park with George. Sunday in the Park with George, sorry. What I'll do is, if I'm happy with the line work and I'm happy with what it does, but I'm struggling with the colors, what I will do is I'll just paint the whole thing in grayscale. And get all of my colors, no colors whatsoever, just grayscale. And then I'll fight with it from there to be like, okay, what do I want to do with this? How do I want this to look? And again, as somebody who does deal with aphantasia, I can't visualize what I want those colors to be. I have to conceptualize them in a different way.
Yeah, like ONB, Alpine Octopi and Mountain Sharks said, zenithal priming is what it's called when you do the black and white prime. That actual technique has been used for centuries, and the name slap chop just stuck. And I think it's hysterical that it's a technique that is centuries old and just now actually got a name.
I like that it's also getting, like, popularized in, like, a medium that, like, really deserves it. You know what I mean? It's really great to see a technique that would be otherwise an advanced technique being described as almost basic.
Yeah. Well, 3D, when you print, because I do a lot of 3D printing, when you're painting those miniatures, the 3D prints, the tabletop miniatures, your shapes are already there, your details are already there. You're just trying to add color and shade to them. And it makes it really kind of oddly backwards when you do a lot of the things. Like, a lot of things like, oh yeah, you got to add this detail. No, the detail's already there. You have to try really hard not to remove it.
Yeah. And, like, what you can do after you've done your grayscale in digital is a lot of what you can do is you can just paint over it and just paint it lightly. You don't have to use, like, hard lines.
Yeah, you can paint over it. Depending on which program you're using. Again, I mostly use Photoshop, which is evil, and you shouldn't use Photoshop. Um,
You
you
actually
can
might
put
have noticed that I used it here a little bit. I just did it in blue instead of gray.
you can have your grayscale, and you can put a layer over it, and you can set the blending mode to multiply, and you can paint over it, and it'll layer over it. If you want to get a little more advanced, because doing that means your blending mode has to be multiply, which takes a lot of the other effects you can do out. You can actually take your grayscale image, invert it, copy it, delete that entire layer, make a layer of solid black, and then add in a layer mask using your inversion as the mask, and you now have your inks on their layer so that you can paint under them.
I've also cheated before where instead of going in and doing darks, I will put the shades where I want and just like chonk them in and then lower the opacity until I'm
Yeah.
happy with how dark it
Uh,
looks.
I've recently changed how I do my shading. One of the artists I really like, Lizit, does some really good furry art. Does some really good. Their anatomy's great. Their backgrounds are great. The way they do their shading, it's an adjustment layer, and they start with the entire image shaded, and they remove the layer. They remove in as an adjustment mask where they want their light to be.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
starts completely shaded, and they start pulling out the highlights, and it makes them get really, really like drastic, hard shading, and I love the effect.
All right, I'm saving this. Nice. I think we might be done.
It looks great.
What do you think, John? Are you happy with this? Not bad for 2.5 hours.
No, not at all.
And
Sometimes
from
art
some
just
of the
goes
pictures
smoothly.
I've sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for some of the pictures that I've seen of bolians, this is a pretty handsome one.
Yeah, we got a good looking bolian.
So what were you saying?
It went pretty smoothly. Sometimes art just
Yeah.
goes smoothly, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's just a struggle.
Oh yeah, pips.
What
Ninja-
does he have
Oh.
any pips?
He's an instant, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think they get one pip.
Does he get one pip? All right. And he needs his communicator,
Jo-
but
Hon Jopkins is a
Whoa.
lieutenant junior grade.
John Hopkins for $50 says it looks amazing. Thank you. No, thank you for kicking in enough to support Dapper. We like Dapper getting supported. I know I've said it before. I was in the Power Rangers game. I've been in 2 of the Star Treks. It's something I absolutely look forward to every week. That I'm happy to be a part of, and I love seeing it get supported. So thank you very much.
you'll get your communicator a little bit later because well, I guess I can do it now. I cheat on the communicators. I did the communicator once, and then I've copy and pasted it ever since.
But yeah, he is a lieutenant junior grade. In case,
Lieutenant Junior grade.
Yeah.
So that's the one blacked out pip, I think.
Well,
Don't quote me on that.
because I have a sheet up. That's the only reason I know.
motherfucker. We'll figure it out. It's fine. We'll make sure you have the right one.
Chesh, just for fun,
Uh-huh.
would you try throwing a bit of actual black just on his pupils?
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is actual black. The dark lines on the hair for the captain is actual black. Because it was my character, so I was able to like push it a little bit harder. This is all actually black. Or at least very, very close. But yeah, let's get actual black. And you want it where? On the pupils?
Just his pupils, just to pull a little more to his eyes.
Ta-da! It gives them a little bit of shine, doesn't it?
I mean, I'll see once YouTube catches up, but
Yeah.
that was my thought. It was that it would give just a little bit more pop to his eyes. They are the windows to the soul, you know.
Dark.
Oh yeah, that
there's
looks good. That looks good.
Yeah, that nice little pop.
I'm way behind on my stream.
Yeah, thing to remember, guys, eyes are wet, so they tend to be really the shadow and the light on them tends to be very extreme.
Ta-da! Getting painted it once
Like
and I'll never paint it again.
Because I just keep on my stream, I keep seeing the captain.
So,
Keep
Chesh, one of my characters that I do, Terrible the Dragon, he is a little cat size, like house cat size dragon, and he has his hoard of random trash that he's gathered. So he has whatever shiny things he can collect. And every time I draw him in his little nest, I have to draw a mountain of just stuff. And
Junk.
I have copy pasted so many layers of junk for that because I don't want to draw it again.
Hey, Dapper.
Nice.
The pips go on don't go on the gray part; they go on the color part.
Dapper had to come in to tell you were wrong.
Okay, but which pip is it? Is it the silver pip or the dark pip?
Okay, so first, none of the pips are silver; they're all gold, or gold with a dark center. But if he's in Lieutenant Junior grade, then it is one gold pip, and then farther back, it's the dark pip.
Okay, so you're not gonna be able to see the dark pip. You'll get the
No.
All right.
Yeah, the one gold.
Is this size the right size for the thing? I always get that wrong.
Yeah, they were a little big, but who cares?
Okay. Close enough.
It's cartoony enough that I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's not the perfect size. Like, whatever. Maybe Hon Jopkins is short. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Hon Jopkins is just really small.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go take a nap or something. Bye.
All right, your
Go
pip
take a
is
nap.
done.
You deserve it.
Okay, bye.
Look at that. He came in just to tell you were wrong.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
well,
yeah.
that's
What
just
else
him.
does he do? Tell me something I
Me-
don't know.
We've done a few of these streams, and every time, that's like 50% of his contribution. He
Most of
comes
the
in here
time,
and
I
it's
just
like,
get bullied. I come out here, I do extra work, I offer my skills, I put in extra effort, and what do I get? Bullied. That's what I get.
I did Dino Simber a couple years ago, and I went to draw a sauropod, and I drew it, and then I went to post it, and I went, no, I have to ask Dapper first. And I sent him my sauropod. I'm like, did I do the feet right?
Listen, he's just trying to be helpful for his own thing that he's doing.
Yeah,
I know that's like Dapper's like thing, and it's just because I've heard him say it a few times. I'm like, yeah, that's one of his pet peeves is the sauropod.
Wait, no, I take it back. That communicator is way too high up and way too big.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Alright.
I thought you meant the pips.
How's that? Is that better?
Hold on, I have to go look.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the stream's got to catch up.
That's fine, I'll wait.
So the communicator badge should never be on the gray part of the uniform. It's always on the black part. So if you're not going to color in the dark part, then you shouldn't have a communicator badge.
Okay, fine. But is this the right spot then? What about here?
No,
Is that the right
Well-
spot?
hold on. I have to catch up.
Hey, Chet, draw a bad sauropod foot for Dapper while you're waiting for him.
No, I'm just gonna do this.
It's entirely below the line between the dark part of the
I
uniform.
put it below the line. Entirely.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. There, we're done. We did it.
Okay, good job.
Yay.
Well done, everybody.
Hooray.
done it.
We did it. We did good job. Hooray. Fucking gonna kill myself. Bye, Dapper.
As soon as he
Please don't. We need
left,
the goblin
you said
energy.
that.
No, we don't. You don't need. It's fine. You don't need me. It's okay. God, I hope the captain dies. The captain's
You know
gonna
what?
die, so I
had
can
a-
just
I had a
focus on
D&D character.
producing.
I was trying to get killed so bad one session and just would not fucking die. And then somebody else died while I was trying to be a meat shield for him. I'm like,
Son
what?
of a
I'm
bitch!
trying to die here, guys.
Bro, please. Alright.
What would end up happening is your character would die, and then Dapper would be like, "What's your new characters?" You just have to make another one.
I have.
Wonderful.
I don't know if it still holds true since I haven't DM'd at the store in a while. For a while, I owned the DM dice with the highest player kill count.
Nice.
Like by far, it is pretty pink.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that. I don't know how you play games without having characters die. I kill so many fucking players.
That's my big complaint with 5e, with official 5e, is it's your characters, your players are never in danger.
Okay. All right.
Unless you just try.
This is okay. All right. Maybe this is a conversation for another day, but hear me out. As long as you do not use by the DMG's rules for like encounters, like the challenge rating, if you ignore the challenge ratings and actually scale encounters properly, it can be far more. It's very deadly up until level 3. Once you're at level 3, and especially once you get past level 5, then encounters start getting really, really easy to deal with because the players just have access to so much shit. But if you read the monster manual instead of reading it like, oh, these are the monsters, you read it like, these are the minimum basics that every one of these monsters have, and then
monsters can level up too.
Monsters can level up too. If they're intelligent enough, they can have classes. Some of them can use magic items, and their spell lists need to be like catered to who they are and what they're doing. So, and also everybody knows liches should have access to spells from prior editions of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Chesh, you and me, we need to talk Dragonbane sometime.
Ooh, we need to do a lot. Me and you need to like talk shop.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I mean, you've seen when we're on Star Trek, you've seen the bookshelf behind me.
Yep.
That's a physical bookshelf. I know it's a green screen on Star Trek. It's only 15 feet from me.
Yeah,
that is my bookshelf.
That's very cool. I lost most of my collections of stuff a long time ago, but that's okay.
It's all right. I got plenty. We got to talk shop sometime.
Oh, you use the Crown Royal bag. Alpine's, my DM dice bag is the black Crown Royal bag with You're All Gonna Die down embroidered on it. That's nice. That's a good one. I got like a handful of different dice bags.
Crown Royal is my favorite dice bag company, and they're so nice because when you buy a dice bag, they give you a bottle of whiskey.
All right, I'm gonna crop this. John, do you want a copy of this like I gave to Jillian as well?
And we'll have to wait for him to catch up.
That's okay. Actually, I did something a little bit unique with this one, and I worked on a smaller canvas, which is honestly like really nice sometimes because it's limiting, but sometimes limiting yourself a little bit is healthy.
I usually work on 1500 by 3000 pixels.
I usually work on 5000 by 5000, and I wish I could go bigger. My computer can't handle it.
I'll double that up and go like 3000 by 6000. Yeah. And I'm really bad about realizing when I need to go up to the high resolution because I used to always work on a 1000 pixel square. And it's I like what I'm working on now. But sometimes I really need to bump it up, and I'm so bad about knowing when I need to bump it up. And then I do a lot of like Telegram thumb stickers, which are specifically 512 by 512, and it feels so weird to work on that canvas.
All right, I will get you a PNG copy of this file.
Not WebP?
No, I like using PNGs. Maple whiskey cookie. Mm-hmm. They said yes, please. All right, I will make sure that gets to you. I hope this was satisfying. I hope you guys all enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. Just greatly appreciated that you support us and support Dapper specifically when it comes to monetary and memberships. We all greatly appreciate it, so thank you so much for stopping by. We'll work on some. I'm sure we have next week off, I believe, as well, too, if I'm correct. So there'll likely be something wacky instead of the standard show next week as well, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think you are.
I think I am. So, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time. Make sure to go and follow Cozy Cat Games. Right?
Yee. Yeah, four Cozy Cat Games, the numeral 4 and then Cozy Cat Games.
Yeah, and
no spaces.
if you want to see Dapper talking politics, come on over to Debate Hub Official. Once a month, he's there losing his absolute mind. And if you want to see me be a shitter, feel free to come over and join me. Thanks so much. I'm gonna get it. I'll get us out of here, and have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Happy 4th for the Americans.
Yeah. R.I.P. United States. Bye.
R.I.P. United States.